You've been working on 20, 30 years, and then they lay you off. And now you're too old to even start a new skill. What do you do when there's not enough to take care of your daily obligations? What do you do when you lose a business? What do you do when nothing seems to work out and you're losing your sanity? What do you do when you have so much stress in your marriage because of financial problems that it's causing you to have difficult times sleeping with your spouse?
Adversity introduces a man to himself.
Most of the time, we're not afraid of until something bad happens to us. When things fall apart, it makes us think outside the box.
This is not for everyone. This is not for the faint at heart. This is for people who have goals and dreams that they want to achieve.
I'm wondering this morning if there's anybody here that life handed you something that you didn't expect. The one thing I can tell you for sure is that nothing is for sure. Life will often disrupt what you expected. See, you don't know what people go through behind the scenes trying to cope with life. That just as soon as you have it down in a nice, neat little box of how you think it's going to go, it will never be what you expected it to be. So you got to get used to being a little disappointed. You got to get used to being a little bit shocked. You got to get used to walking into situations and being flexible and adjustable. Because if you are not flexible, you cannot survive. But I came to tell you this morning that our God is a God of the unexpected. So just because life has shocked you doesn't mean it's shocked God. Nothing takes God by surprise. He already knows what's going on in every corner of your life.
When we have a teeth-rattling experience and the very foundation of our life has been shaken, we run to God, only to discover that it's God that's doing the shaking.
In order to develop and to change and to grow, stress is necessary. So you got to be willing to go get it every day. There's a story my father told me. Now, I've heard it several different ways, but I'm just telling you the way my daddy gave it to me. He said, son, he said, every morning on the plains of the eastern Serengeti Desert, there arises a gazelle that realizes that he must run faster than the fastest lion, or he will be eaten and he will die that day. On that same desert arises in the morning a lion that realizes that he must run faster than the fastest gazelle, or he will starve and he will die that day. He said, son, the moral of the story is, no matter who you is, when you wake up in the morning, you need to be running. And he said, no matter who you is, this proper grammar is who you are, but my daddy didn't do that, and I was comfortable with it. And so what he taught me was a work ethic of how to work. In order to get to where you want to go, you got to put yourself under some stress, though. See, stress is necessary.
Sometimes the only way for you to move on is for something to happen to push you. And many times we don't grow until we have to. It's amazing when we look at the world today, every progressive invention came out of a problem. You are not really a leader in good times. Anybody can lead in good times. You may tell me how much faith you got. Well, let's see what kind of faith you have when there has to be situations where things don't look too good and you're not sure how you're going to make it in the morning. Sometimes you stray away and God got to pull the rug from under you to get you back on the floor to the original idea that God told you from the beginning, and it's called your original vision. There's a statement made by Shakespeare. He says, sweet are the uses of adversity. That's a deep statement. In other words, he's telling us when things are adverse, don't panic, use them. Use them for the positive results. Everything that happens to you could be used to produce something good. That's amazing. Everything. So Shakespeare caught on to something. He realized in his own thinking that adversity can be used to benefit the one under the adversity.
Until you have had the taste of finishing, you will not respect yourself. Until you follow through, until something is done, come hell or high water, tears and struggles and pain, and you go through it anyway, and you show up and you continue to fight on no matter the circumstances, you finished. See, some people quit because things are out of control. Nobody quits what you can control. But the moment you get in something where you don't get your way, or you get reprimanded, or you get corrected, or you go through this, or you go through that, or you go through the other, the first thing the immature mind says is, this is ridiculous, I quit.
John Huntsman is the founder of one of the largest companies in the United States, and they produce about 90% of all the plastics, forks, and spoons that you use in your house or at your parties. His company fell into debt. The bank said they didn't loan no more money, and his company went into bankruptcy. He went home and told his wife, I quit. I'm never going to start this company again. I'm going to go find me a job. It's over. He said his wife made him go back and ask another bank, and he showed the bank the truth. He said, here's what I did in the last 15 years. Here's what happened, and I can start again. I know how to build a business. Will you trust me? And the bank says, I'll take a chance on you. He had no credibility, no assets, just a record that he built a company. The bank took a chance on him. Today, the company is worth over $14 billion. Here's what he said, I quote, if there is a silver lining to bad times, it is this. When facing severe challenges, your mind is normally at its sharpest, end quote. Now look at the statements in that statement. He said, when you are under the biggest pressure, that is when your mind is normally at its sharpest, because your mind is having to think of things it never thought of before. Another quote I got from him is this one. He said, humans seldom have created anything of lasting value unless they were tried or hurting. He was talking from experience. He said, we don't produce anything that's worth talking about unless we are under pressure. In other words, you were never trusted for the things you claim. You are always trusted for the things you survived. It is the test that creates credibility. Write it down. It is the test that creates trust. The troubles right now, what you're going through, is going to give you the respect of other people observing you. There are people who are praying that you fail, and then they'll trust you when you don't. Weird people in the world. They hope you won't make it, and when you make it, they congratulate you. So therefore, don't listen to the naysayers. Accept the test as part of you becoming a successful person.
God is a trainer. This is what I've learned about it. And all I can tell you is, you know, how I got to be who I am. That's all I can share with you. I got no other stories for you. He wants me to share my story with those that still trying to get there. And at 40, you can still buy the pony. But you got to be willing to get under some stress.
Most people are spectators in life. Don't get knocked down while you're sitting down. You want to get out in the field where the action is, and you will be amazed. After the struggle, there will be a calm period, and things will begin to click for you. Come out here with what you got. You don't have enough money? Don't worry about it. You got the dream.
Life demands that you pick up the pace. Life demands that you pick up the pace. If you don't pick up the pace, you're going to be left behind. I'm amazed at the people that lack the flexibility to pick up the pace. They just get in a rut. I scroll down here, and I'm going to scroll back. I'm going to scroll over here. I'm going to scroll over there. I can't deal with people who cannot pick up the pace. Don't be strolling when I got a 911 on you. I need people who can pick up the pace.
Successful people are always survival testimonies. They weren't born successful. Success is a result of going through a furnace, being ripped apart, being criticized and attacked. But write this down, please. This is very important. The fear of losing the job is the greatest concern today. I want to talk about this because that's what the Lord told me to talk about, to check your concept of job. Because that is where the problem lies. And that has become our curse. Because a job is really an opportunity someone else offers you. And if somebody offers you an opportunity, they can always take it back. And if you build your life on someone else's offer, you are as safe as how they feel at the time. And they can change the way they feel anytime and withdraw the offer. Anybody know what I'm talking about? That's why you can't build your life on a job. Stay with me. I'm going to help you with this here.
The reason that we don't even explore the possibility of what to do is because subconsciously we don't believe that it can happen for us, and we don't believe that we deserve it. So I'm saying that we have to work through the challenges of life and learning how to begin to work to fortify ourselves.
So no matter what you're facing, don't panic too long. Every test is temporary. You may panic for a minute, but I've come to tell you the panicking time is over now, because you got to get some wisdom. Nothing is permanent except God and his promises. Everything else is changing. As a matter of fact, God promises us that nothing will remain the same. He promised that. Now, God doesn't change. His promise doesn't change. And here's one of his promises. He said in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, he says, to everything there is only a season, and to every purpose there is a time under heaven. In other words, everything that you experience is only seasonal. If you broke now, it's only a seasonal brokenness. Nothing, Jesus says, is forever. So if your company had to die, you're going to be resurrected. I've come to tell you, bury it, have a good funeral, and then get ready for a resurrection. Tell them, I'll be back. Why? Because everything is only for a season.
Do not be surprised that family members and friends and people who should be there to encourage you and to motivate you, that they will try and discourage you. They're called a pyramid schemer, and they don't believe, they can't see this new you. Don't allow those negative naysayers, the people who suffered from possibility blindness, to stop you. Had I listened to them, I would not be standing here. Had I listened to them, I would not be traveling around the world, living my dreams and not my fears. There's something in you that says yes to your life, yes to a greater future. Yes, yes, yes. I am the captain.
Woo! What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? This is your favorite investor, Mr. Investor with J, also known as Jeff Money Making Kirkland. I hope y'all got something out of that powerful message right there. Woo! Every time I'm down, I'm feeling a little upset about myself, I always listen to something like that to get me back up in my spirits. I hope y'all guys heard that. You know, some of the key things that he said, some of the key things that one of those motivational speakers said is, if you're in a season right now, right, everything is temporary, right? I want everyone to understand that everything is temporary, right? If you're in a season of brokenness, you're in a season of broke and you're broke, it's just a temporarily brokenness. Whew. I hope y'all was listening. I hope y'all was listening to those tidbits there. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and get it started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. We're going to go over a couple different pairs, guys, and we're just going to we're going to pick back off of where we left off last week.
People are crazy.
Please mute your lines. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So, you guys know my favorite pair, the GBP USD. Getting started, guys, this pair has just been dropping. I hope you guys have been taking advantage of the sale that's been happening. I want to show you guys how I was able to predict that move yesterday. I posted in the chat for everyone to take full advantage of that. But one thing I want to show you guys on GBP USD, bringing it out to the monthly chart. All right. I need you guys to pay attention because we're going to learn a little bit something new today. But pay attention down here, all right, because GBP USD is getting ready to hit the lowest point it's ever been since September of 2016. Okay, you guys need to keep in mind when you're trading in market structure. Okay, one of the things I want to talk about tonight is the type of patterns that you need to be looking for. Okay, some of you guys have seen them. But there's two patterns you need to be looking for, but those two patterns can show up 6 different ways. All right. And what those patterns are is I love to call them M's and W's. Okay. Some of you guys call them double tops. Some of you guys call them double bottoms. All right, triple tops, triple bottoms as well. So when you're looking at a M, all right, I'm gonna draw an M here. When you're looking at an M, guys, an M formation, anytime you guys see some type of M formation on your chart, okay, this is gonna mainly mean you're at some type of resistance area, okay? I'm gonna put a big R. You're at some type of resistance area, all right? And usually when you get a W formation, okay, you're gonna be at some type of major support area. You can see these W's and M's on daily charts, weekly, monthly, any time frame you go to, you're gonna be able to see these, okay? And you have to adjust your eyes to seeing them. All right. One of the cool ways you can do it is definitely by going to the line chart and checking it out. Or you can, you could just really just gauge it out with your eyes. Now, when you're looking at these M's and W's, all right, because sometimes these M's and W's show up everywhere and they look all types of weird looking ways. All right. But there's 6 different ways you're going to basically be able to get M's and W's. I'm going to teach you guys about that tonight. All right. So the first M, all right, is going to be your regular everyday M that looks just like this, okay? And this is just your regular everyday M. Now your second M, okay, your second M is going to look like this. You're going to have the first leg is going to come up like this. It's going to come down, all right? It's going to come back up. It won't meet back up with this up here, and then you're going to see the M formation like this. Okay. All right. If you don't have that M, if you don't have these 2 M's, your third M you're going to be seeing mostly, all right, is one that looks like this. It's going to go down. It's going to extend up past the first leg. Okay. And you're going to get that huge move down. All right. Now it's the exact same thing, and it's vice versa for your W's. Your W formations, okay, are going to be the exact same way. So you're going to have a W formation that's going to look like this. That first leg, okay, second leg is going to extend over that first leg, just like this. And then you're also going to have a W that's going to come like this. All right. That second leg is not going to come back to that first leg, and you're going to see that W take off like that. All right. If you remember these right here, these are very, very important. You're going to see these almost every single day. You will get these type of formations. Okay. Now, the fourth one that you may get inside here, okay, you guys may see what some of us call triple tops. All right. Where you see the M formation may extend like this. All right. I call this a crown. Okay. A crown. Anytime you guys get a crown formation, typically you'll see that third leg of the M will extend out, okay? And then you'll usually get that pushed down. All right? And I'm going to explain to you guys exactly what all these mean here in a second. All right? And then you also have the upside down crown, which looks just like this. And then that third leg usually typically extends and pushes up. All right. So it's very important that you guys understand why these M's and W's form in the market. All right. And basically this is typically when it comes time to talking about really the market makers and how they do business in the market. So your first M and your first W formations, okay, what these typically mean, all right, these are basically when the market makers, they have a lot of orders that's going to be sitting in here. All your market makers are going to have so many orders sitting in here that they have to fill every last one of them, okay? And they don't want to extend the market up anything past this because of the fact that for anyone that may be getting in this trade, let's say someone would enter a trade right here, okay? And they're going in this trade, they're going long, okay? What that typically happens is when they issue an M formation like this, okay, most of those traders that may enter the trade and they're going long and they're all the way up here. Let's say the M formation comes all the way up here. All right. And you may have someone in here that may pop in another buy order. all right, what typically happens is that the market makers don't want, all right, they don't want to release any more orders up here, okay? They don't want these long holders to catch any more money, right? Hopefully you follow me here. They don't want any more of the long holders getting any more money, so they stop it right here, all right? And this is just your basic one. Now the second one here, what this typically means, all right, is this is for someone that goes in a trade, they're going very long, all right? All right, and just keep in mind, these are going to be vice versa for for these over here. So this is for someone that goes in the trade, they're going long in the trade, all right? And once they get all the way up here to the top, what typically happens is they'll reverse the market. So for all the long holders holding in here, they'll reverse the market, all right? And typically what they do is when they come back up here to issue the second leg, you guys will see that it does not extend up here. Why is that, right? Why do you guys think this second leg will not come back up here? Why do you think that is? What's going on in here? Anybody know? Okay, trend change. Any others? Exactly, right? They don't want the long holders to get that money that's up here. Okay, so typically you'll see a buyer, right? Because typically what, most traders, typical traders, they like to go in here and they add orders, right? And we constantly add orders in here, all right? And what the market makers are seeing, they're seeing too many buyers are in the market, okay? So they don't want to release any more buyers in the market, okay? They're not wanting to release any more money in the market. They're saying, okay, this is as far as I'm going to push price, and I'm not going to come back up here and stop it, okay? So for anybody that may have entered a buy, let's just say you randomly enter a buy in all the way up here, okay? What's going to typically happen, right, as you're adding orders in here, the market makers are saying to themselves, they're like, all right, well, we see these people coming in here, they're adding all these orders in here, all right? So the moment that they shift the market away, they're basically telling you guys they're doing this out of fear, okay? They're doing this out of fear, all right? And when they shift the market away, typical traders, what do? We start to panic, right? And then we get in that emotion that we're like, okay, right? Has anybody ever been in that emotion where they're like, man, I just want price. I just want price to come back. It's not going to my favor. I just wanted to come back so I can close out at like 1 pip profit. Has anybody ever been there? Right? I know I have before, right? You get freaked out because you want to close the trade out at 1 pip profit and you never see profit. Okay? So this is why they're doing this. This is why that happens. Right? All right. Now this third one here, okay? This is for basically any trader that's constantly going long, all right? And they may be in here, all right? And what they typically do, once these traders come in here, all right? Let's say, for instance, these traders up here, they're at a big resistance area, okay? And market makers love doing this. This is like their signature one. They're at a big resistance area up here, okay? And they know that you're going to be putting in sell orders here, okay? You guys need to keep in mind the market makers know exactly when you put your orders in, all right? So they can see you put your sell order in there, all right? And typically, what do? What do us typical traders do, right, when we put in a sell order? Where do we put our stop loss? Where do we typically put a stop loss in place? Right? What have we been taught as retail traders to put a stop loss? Above the resistance, right? Exactly. Above the resistance, right? So the market makers know that you put your stop loss above the resistance. And when they can see that, right, this is what they do. they issue that second leg to take out that stop loss. And some of you guys, you may also put in a pending order up here, right? You may also put in another pending order in there, right? If you're trailing the market, right? You may put a buy stop, okay? So they can see that too. So as you're putting in your buy stops and your pending orders, right? The market maker is going to shift the market up just enough to take out your stop losses, you know, activate your pending orders, and then they shift the market the opposite direction, okay? So those are the three types of M's and W formations, and now you guys know exactly what they mean. So what does this have to do with market structure? Right? Well, I want you guys to pay attention, right? Take note of these three different M's and W's, all right? I'm going to clear off my chart here in about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all right? If you didn't take a snapshot of it. So when we're looking at GBP USD, right, I want you guys to pay attention because currently in the market right now, right, GBP is getting ready to hit its very all-time low down here, all right? And look at the formation, right? Let me change my color. But look at the formation that you're getting here, right? You see that you guys see this is forming out, all right? So you know how you can potentially be looking to take advantage of it, right? This is a clear W formation that's getting ready to happen on the GBP pairs, right? We're still expecting a big rise before the end of the year is out. We don't know when it's going to happen, all right? But if this is where we have to, you know, we want to trade the trend until the trend bends, all right? So when we're zooming down to the daily chart, right? This is that big M, all right? All you guys know about the mirror image I have also taught you, right? Check out the mirror image, right? The mirror image, how the left side is looking exactly like the right side, all right? And then we're going to have to repaint a picture over here for this right side, all right? For my visual learners yet again, we can go back in here and let's check it out, right? Grab our bars pattern. Flip it. Okay. So this is what we're going to be potentially looking for something to happen over here on this side. Okay. Just like something similar to this, right? It may not look exactly like this. Okay. If it does, then we're going to get a nice head and shoulders pattern. Okay. But we're going to look for something similar to this. Okay. So when we're analyzing GBP USD, right? One of the things you guys want to notice about market structure, all right? You want to use, when you're doing market structure, right? It's still important that you guys put on, you know, you can use any type of indicators that you like, okay? Market structure typically deals without indicators, right? But you want something to be able to identify the trend that you're going in. And one of the most popular tools that I use when I'm identifying trend, right, is a moving average, okay? And what this moving average is going to do, I usually go on my charts and I put on a 200 moving average, okay? So what a 200 moving average is going to do for you guys exactly, right? If no one's ever taught you about it. The 200 moving average is basically going to be able to clearly identify the trend that you're in, okay? Anytime price is basically trading below the moving average, all right, this is a downtrend, signals a downtrend, okay? Anytime it's trading above the moving average, it's signaling mainly an uptrend. So you guys can see why we have not been buying GBP USD just yet. It's been nothing but on a major downtrend, okay? And it's still on a major downtrend, right? So when we were looking earlier this week, right, how was I able to predict that move on GBP USD when it fell that way? Well, it was simple, right? Check this out. I was all the way down on the 1 hour chart, okay? And I was looking at exactly what I saw here, okay? All this big area here, this big area, okay? Now, there's two different ways you guys could look at this, right? And we're going to talk about some trade setups that's going to happen next week as well. There's two different ways you guys could have looked at this. One, you had a major resistance area up here. Okay? Major resistance area right up in here. You guys all see that. All right? And right below the major resistance, if we have resistance, we have to have a support area. Okay? So I was looking at my charts and I was like, okay, what's going on? Resistance, support, right? What are we doing? Okay? I went to my line chart, you guys all know, and I looked at this here. I saw this uptrend. I started from the very bottom and I worked my way up. Ooh, my mouse is a little shaky there. Straight across. Okay? Just like this. Of course, I cloned this line here and I put it at the very top of my peaks. All right, so I'm looking at each one of my peaks to determine where price was gonna go. Okay, now upon seeing that, I had saw price give me this move here, which is what we call a what? What is this called? A breakout, right? Breakout, what else? What is this move called? This one big move. What do I call this in my 3 rules, right? Impulse. There we go. Impulse. So that told me that the trend was getting ready to change. Okay? So the trend was changing. So I went back to my line chart and I saw that breakout or impulse move happen. Okay? And I knew I had to connect some other peaks because that was going to happen, right? So I saw this here. What did I do next? I cloned this line. I brought it here, just like here, to these bottom peaks. And I asked myself, I said, all right, I'm looking for some type of wick here. All right, I want to see wicks. And I saw my wick. So this is exactly the chart that I sent you guys. All right, and I saw price was pulling back up here, right? And I actually had it on the 15-minute chart for you guys, right? This is exactly what I was looking at, okay? So I saw this, and I'm like, okay, impulse move, right? It's the same chart, impulse, correction, and what did we do? We were sitting here at this area, okay? Because you still want to keep in mind, when you're looking at smaller scales, you want to keep in mind all the smaller resistance and support levels that you have, okay? So I saw this here, this area. Every time price was right here, what did it do? It kept moving off of it, okay? So price had broke through this area and it was coming back up the pull. Anywhere on this area could have been an entry. The market gave you anything on this area. Now, when you're looking for those M and W patterns, like I told you, okay, the crown, right? That triple top, triple bottom. When you get a triple top or a triple bottom, guys, I'm not telling you what you can do, right? But you can literally throw your whole account on that. I'm just saying, you can literally throw a whole account on that. So I was looking at this, all right? Mark my words. And I saw this. I said, okay, 1, I'm looking for some type of M pattern. I saw 2. Then I'm looking, it came back then a 3rd time. At this 3rd time, the market, guys, if the market gives you 3 opportunities, don't hesitate to take that trade. And it was just a complete fall. It was a complete fall, right? Gave you that crown that I taught you guys about here in the beginning. Gave you that crown formation right there. This could have been the easiest trade that you could have took. The easiest trade. Right? I'm just curious. Did anybody take that trade this week when I posted it? Did anybody profit off this GBP pair this week at all? Or on this move in particular? Because that was an easy call. It was an easy call, right? Now, if you missed that setup, right? If you missed that setup, the market gave you another opportunity to get in on top of that, right? As I taught you guys, the impulse, correction, and continuation can also happen when you're going long ways like this, okay? So look here. This was originally support, correct? Originally support. What did the market do? It pushed down, impulse, corrected itself, now came back and retested as resistance and fell some more. That was the second opportunity you could have took. Became resistance, exactly, right? So that was a total of roughly about 100 pips in one day. That all happened today. All right, that all happened today. Okay, and look, we knew which direction based off the 200 EMA, which direction to trade in, right? Does that make sense? The 200 EMA price was trading below it, so we knew we were not looking for any buy opportunities whatsoever. No buy opportunities. Okay. Now I also gave you guys gold as well, right? This is the exact same markup as gold that I gave you, all right? And gold, you really want to analyze on the 15-minute chart, right? For short term, because these short term moves are very, 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 you know, they pay some pips, okay? I mean, literally this whole move was about 100 pips right there, okay? But I sent this to you guys. I had a trend line drawn just like this, and I told you, all right? I said, check it out. Guys, there's no coincidence why. This is why I tell you when you're looking at market structure, all right? When you're looking at market structure, trust your trend lines. Trust your strategy, okay? Look at where the 200 EMA was at. The 200 EMA was telling us this was a buy trend all day, telling us buy all day long, right? Some of you guys got this picture here, okay? And some of you guys got this picture that was here, right? I think I drew it something like this. Some of you guys saw that picture right there, okay? So there was two ways you guys could have looked at this. One, the first way, right? You could have said to yourself, okay, once price broke out of here, what is that called? That is your impulse, right? That is your impulse move, okay? And I told you guys, I said, look, at the time, price was coming back here to give you a correction. It was coming back to give you a correction. When you're trading, guys, you need to when you're trading, you want to see the trade do what you want it to do, okay? You want to see what you want to see it do what you want it to do. If the trade does not do what you want it to do not enter. It's just that simple. Do not enter. All right? So you guys can see here, this is why I tell you to use the line chart. It's very accurate, okay? So when we were looking at these hits here, right? All three of these, I simply took a trend line from the bottom, came up here, okay? And I was connecting it, just like this, right? I wanted to make sure that I hit these 3 points here. They were major, okay? Guys, there's no coincidence why price came right here and tapped, literally tapped the trend line, okay? Price came right here, tapped the trend line. That was your entry. You could have easily had a buy stop in here. I'm sorry, not a buy stop, but a buy limit. You could have easily had a buy limit sitting right here. That wick entry was a perfect entry. Price never came back to it. And price rose about 50 pips on you. Rose easily about 50 pips. I think it rose a little bit more than that, honestly. All right, we're going to say price rose about 50 pips easily. That was easy, okay? And if that wasn't good enough, what did price do here? Okay. Let's just say you missed that move, right? Let's say you missed that total move there, okay? But you saw this, right? So you didn't have this on your charts, for one. You didn't have this. Let's say you didn't have this. Take a couple things out here so don't confuse you. But you didn't have any of this sitting on your charts. Let me show you guys how you can take advantage of gold by just simply drawing your trend lines up. Okay? And I had this little message in here too as well. I'm gonna put back my support here. Okay? Let's say this is all you had. Right? It's the same stuff. It's just different in a different way. But look, guys, price broke out. Okay? Broke out of here. This was your impulsive move that told you, hey, I could be potentially looking for, since it broke out of this uptrend, okay, I could be potentially looking for the sell, right? But what did your EMA tell you? Your EMA still told you uptrend, okay? So more than likely, the trade was going to still go in an upward motion, okay? This is where you could have went to your line chart, and you could have looked at this. You could have said, all right, what is the peaks that I can connect, right? Connect what you see, right? You could have started from here and came straight down, right? Just started from this peak, these two peaks, and just extended this right out just like this, okay? I'm going to show you guys something. Clone this line, bring it down to about right here, right off this peak. Even if you didn't want to go to that peak and you just wanted to go to this and a little bit through here, okay? Go back to your candles. You would have saw that you had these wicks here, okay? Look at how price reacted right off this. Guys, this was a perfect entry for the buy. You see that? Perfect entry for the buy, right? And I told you guys, I said, look for price to react off this area. I had that message sitting there, okay? Price came right back to this same area, right? There's no coincidence why price came right back to this same area, tested right back off of it, okay? Tested right back off of it and pulled right off of it. That whole move right there was about another 60-something pips. That's easy money. Is this making sense? That is easy money right there. Just by simply drawing your trend lines and your support and resistance, right? You can add any EMA on it as you like, right? But you can use just your trend lines and supporting resistance as confirmations. All right. So seeing that price, what am I looking for come next week for gold, right? I know all you guys are wondering, right? So I'm going to take everything off my chart and I'm going to start back fresh, right? I still want to keep my 200 EMA, but I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, what do I see? Okay. If you go to your line chart, you have multiple rejections up here, this whole area here. There's multiple rejections. So we can still say this is our valid resistance. And then we also have multiple rejections here, down here in this area here. This is our support. So right now, price is just sitting on support right now, right? So without me having even to really say anything, what do you guys believe price is getting ready to do at the start of next week? Right? Exactly. Right? Buy. You guys are sitting right in a major support. Look at all these rejections, right? Let me draw them in here. Look at this. 1, 2, we got 3 here, 4, 5, and then we potentially may have a 6 rejection here to pull back up. And then I told you guys too, right? Look at the patterns that you're seeing. How many hits do we have here for this W? What are you guys seeing? There's no coincidence that the market is showing you these things. Okay? Like I told you guys, when the market shows you, trading is about a confluence of events happening. You want to make sure you see multiple things happening that is going to potentially tell you, hey, I may have a shot at this trade at a higher probability. Even if you guys are trading gold alone, right? Right? And I know some of you guys do trade gold alone, but each one of these moves here were at least 100 pip moves, right? This started back in August 7th. August 7th, 4 days of wonderful buy opportunities just by sitting here waiting patiently, right? Just because it may not happen for you guys right then and there, don't get down on yourself. Wait for the market to come to you. Don't go after it, okay? Don't go revenge trading just because you lose one trade, right? So if this doesn't happen, okay, because this could easily fall, this could easily fail. What is the other potential move that we could be potentially looking for? If this fails, there's only one thing else that could happen. Exactly. We could get that breakout. So we get that impulse move. We wait for the correction. And then we get the continuation move down. And if you get that, it's going to be a long drop. Okay? So those are your two options. It's simple. Guys, we can't overcomplicate this. Right? We can't. Now, getting really down to the details, right? If you were scared and say, you know, I don't want to take this trade here, Jeff. I might get wicked out. All right, no problem. Let me show you what you can do. As a conservative trader, you can do the same thing, right? You connect your trend lines. Good question. I'll answer that in a second. Right? You can connect your trend lines just like this and clone it. Right? We could put it here. We now have established a channel right inside here. Okay? We've established a channel inside here. So look, if price starts to come up here and it breaks out through here, that's an impulse. We should see some type of correction, and then we should see a continuation. Where's your entry? Well, your entry is right here. That's your entry to keep going long. Right? Now, why am I saying this spot? What am I looking at exactly? Right? Why am I saying price is going to react right around here in this area and possibly fall from here? Well, go back to looking at your support and your resistance. Okay? Look here. Every time price was here, what did it do? It reacted off of it, right? It's already passed through it. Okay? It's already passed through it, so we know it may have to come back to it. If it comes back to it, we may see some type of reaction here. Okay? If we get this reaction, we may get it to fall back down here. Why am I saying right here in this area? Okay? Well, look at these small areas here. Okay? There's no coincidence that these events happen like this, right? Look at there. No, there's no coincidence. But we're just reacting off of previous levels that were already formed in the market. We're just reacting off of those previous levels that was already formed in the market. All right? And we could be potentially looking for that. It's the same exact thing for here. So there's your markup for next week. That is your markup for next week. Now, question said, how do I know this is going to go long? This may go short, right? How do I know it's going to be a long drop? Well, we have to look and see, right? If we're looking at this, the last major area, okay, the last major area that we have in the market is all the way down here. This was the last major area, right? This is where we could see price reacted off the most. It reacted off the most here. Okay? So we may see that long drop here. Now, yes, will prices automatically fall like that? No, of course not, right? We may get that mirror image. Okay? We may get a mirror image from here, right? This could easily be a mirror image. We don't know, right? But we have to take advantage of what the market is showing us. Okay, so if we get that mirror image, we're going to get some mirror image that's going to look something similar. Flip it. We may get something similar to like this. That's going to give us the same look as just like that. All right. So that's your gold markup for next week. Take note. All right. And I will post that for you. Okay. All right. So let's just move down the list. Let's take a look at USD CAD. I know this is lining up perfectly, right? I said this to you guys. This trade has not happened yet, right? But let's take a look at it. Okay. USD CAD currently is inside this big channel, right? Look at here. It's inside this big channel. We have the resistance line here. Okay. How do I get this channel? I went to my line chart and I connected the points, the endpoints. Okay. When I connected those endpoints, I cloned the line. I'm doing the same thing over and over, right? And I just labeled here those major rejection spots that you guys got, the major rejections. Okay. Just look at these major rejections, right? I'm gonna take these lines out so you guys can see a little bit better. All right. So based off of in the past, if we know this is a support line, okay, we know price is gonna have some type of reaction off this line, period. It's gonna react off of it. Okay. So based off of looking at the 200 EMA, is the 200 EMA above price or below price? And what does it mean? Okay, if it's below price, what does it mean? It means buying. We're on a uptrend. So majority, we're probably going to be looking for buy opportunities. All right, we're going to keep buying until the trend switches. Okay, so when we're looking at this on a smaller scale, based off of the past, every time price hit this trend line, it reacted off of it, which is exactly what it's doing right now. It's reacting off of this. Now, I'm not telling you guys what to do. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to call out a signal. All right, but price is at a major support area. Okay, every time price hit this area, it reacted off of it. Okay, and we're coming very close to it. Okay, we've already completed the mirror image here. Right, let me show you. We've already completed this mirror image. This left side was copied over here to the right. So we know the right side we have to have some type of image over here on this right side. Okay, we know we have to have some type of image that looks something similar to this. Okay, something similar to that over there. Right now, when we're looking at this, we want to pay attention to see if we see any type of patterns, anything that can help us out to predict and give us an advance of what we may see. Now, personally, personally, I see, right? This may be that W formation I was telling you guys about to take your stops out, right? And we may get this rise. Does everybody see that? Okay. When you adjust your eyes to it, you can see it, right? Maybe you'll see it a little bit better on the line chart. Nah, not really. All right. But we may be getting this W formation here. Okay. Could this potentially keep dropping? Absolutely. This is why we have this in here. Okay. If it breaks, we look for the retest and we look for the continuation move down. For the conservative traders, which there's nothing wrong with it. Yet again, what you could easily do, you could take a trend line from here on down. Okay? Take a trend line from there on down, connecting your top peaks here. And the same thing, you wait for a move to cross over the trend line in the buy direction to tell you, hey, impulse. You give you a nice little correction and you keep buying it right on up, right? And it's crazy that it looks like I just drew something like a head and shoulders pattern, right? So that's a potential. That is a potential. Yet again, why am I saying it's going to react off this area, right? Because if we took a small, look at all this area here, okay? Look at this. I'm expecting price, if it reacts, if it comes up, it's going to come back and react off that level. Retesting it, what was originally resistance will now turn into support. All right? What was originally resistance will now turn into support so we can continuously have that move on up. Does that make sense? Right? So that, perfect. All right? So, I will be potentially looking for that move on USD CAD next week. All right? Now, for you weekend traders, Bitcoin, okay? Love me some Bitcoin. Bitcoin, on the daily scale, Bitcoin has been doing nothing but rising, okay? It's been doing nothing but rising. When we move into the 4-hour, we can see Bitcoin is on a straight uptrend. It's been on nothing but an uptrend, and our 200 EMA is telling us that we are in buying opportunities, okay? Now, the best buying opportunities is off these trend lines, of course. But price may not react off there when we go into the lower time frame. So we have to mark off our resistance, where we see price resisting at, and we have to mark off our support, okay? I personally don't believe price is going to come back down that far anymore. All right, so we're here, we're looking at this. We know we should be, we're on an uptrend. We should probably only be looking for the buy opportunities. All right, so you got two options with Bitcoin. Because price is approaching resistance right now, you'll probably see price may fall from it. If price falls back here to this support, well, my golly, you would probably be looking for the buy to go ahead and head back up, okay? I do not see price dropping whatsoever. I do not see it dropping past this trend line. I honestly don't, okay? Where's your take profit? Your take profit is going to be at the next support or resistance area, which is up here, okay? This is the next one. Comes right up here, right? Big scale, we're going to complete this one big mirror image that's like right in here somewhere, okay? One big mirror image, which we're already starting to do anyway, okay? Well, we're going to make it, we should, I predict and see that we should make it all the way back up here to about 1300-ish. We should make it back up there, okay? But if you don't see price come back here and retest, and you get in a buy entry here, then you should wait for the impulse. If you see price take off, wait for the correction, and then go ahead and get in your entry to continuously move up. And your take profit is going to be up here yet again, okay? Now, when you make it up here, long term, I'm going to show you this. Long term on the daily, when you make it up there, I'm going to take off what I see here. What do you guys see if price makes it back up here again? What do you see? What is the pattern that you're seeing if price makes it back up there?
W.
Not a W. There it is. The triple top. The triple top. The crown. Where is it at? 1. Pull down. 2. Pull down. 3. That is a crown formation. Then we could be looking for a massive drop on Bitcoin all the way down here. All the way back down here. Way down here. Right? So that is a potential. If you see price up here, guys, I'm telling you right now, that is going to be huge, because you need to understand this is a huge area of resistance on the daily. On the daily, that is huge. That is a triple top pattern that is going to be formed. Don't be afraid to take that sell. Especially if you see price up here, don't be afraid to take that sell. Your stop loss can literally, you can have a tight stop right above here in this area. And you can look for the fall. All right? Cool. Does everyone understand that? Cool. So I'm going to open up the last 5 minutes for questions. If you want to look at a certain pair, we can look at that too. So the mics are open for questions.
Okay, Jeff, so like if you wanted to, I'm still trying to learn about mirroring, but you know, looking to the left for the right. How do you know exactly where to draw the line to start the mirror?
So what I'm looking at, right? Let me go to like a regular pair. What I'm looking at is I'm looking at what previously happened. I'm looking at, is the left side really starting to look like the right side? So I just went to a random pair, USD Swiss franc, okay? Do you see how USD Swiss franc here, right? If you put a line just right down here through the middle, okay? I'm just looking at it by gauging it with my eyes, all right? So I'm just looking at how this left side over here, how it started from here. It went up, right? Came up here, came down. Let me draw it out. It came up from here, came down, came back up, and then came back down right there. Do you see that? Can you see that?
Yep.
All right. So you just kind of just got to gauge it with your eye a little bit. All right. Bigger scale and small scales. All right. That's just like, if, you know, I don't know, I'm just magically guessing for USD Swiss franc, saying that USD Swiss franc is looking like it's on a downtrend, okay? When you know that this mirror image has formed, okay, so you can see, if you see the mirror image has formed, this left side to the right side, you know this right side has to be recreated. It has to be. This right side has to be created, okay? So you could be potentially looking for this right side. Where would I start it? I would basically start it from here, probably here, and work my way down and be looking for something along the lines, if I flip this, to mirror over here on this side. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it like that. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, because like while you were doing it, I drew where the second part where it came down and flipped it over, and it matches the left. So I was just like, but how did you know that? Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that one more time, please?
Which part? The flipping or the tracing?
The flipping and the tracing.
Okay. So what you want to do is you just want to you establish where your halfway line is. Okay. You establish that.
Got it.
And you just grab your bars pattern over here. It says bars pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just draw it from wherever you want to start it from. Even if I wanted to start it from like here and bring it down. Okay. And I just right clicked it and flipped it and put it where price is at.
Got it. Okay. Bars pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Of course. I see somebody said GJ. Okay. GJ. You guys want to look at GJ, right? And if you see a 1 GBP pair, chances are the other's getting ready to do the same thing. Okay. So GJ, looking on the monthly scale, right? Because we're getting ready to hit this low. When you're looking at GJ's low, right? Take note of this area here. Take note of this area. This is a big support area, right? So still, you should be looking for some type of buy, but we're still on a downtrend, okay? Now, for GJ, if price breaks this area here, okay? If it stays here at this area, we're going to get this W. The exact same thing for GU, okay? We're going to get that W. Now, on a smaller scale, right, the only thing you can do for GJ on a smaller scale, take out my lines. When you're hitting up maybe like the 4 hour, okay, because you can't really do much on a daily, right? So on a smaller scale, maybe the 60-minute, I would say take note that this used to be a support area. Let me bring this down just a little bit. Okay. This used to be a support area. If you want to draw a trend line in here, oh crap, my mouse is killing me. If you want to draw a trend line in here, you can clone it. Bring this down here. Something like this, right? And you can clone this line here, just like that. All right, so I would be looking potentially, maybe like right in here. I'm looking for a wick or something here. Maybe potentially, because we didn't really get a major retest of this area, all right, and GJ's coming up on this trend. Keep in mind, it's still on a downtrend, so I only would be looking for selling opportunities. I would be looking for some type of pattern down here to pull back up, okay? Maybe back up here to this trend line or up here or somewhere around here, maybe consolidate a little bit or something. But either way, I would still be looking to sell it as of right now. I would still be looking to sell it. So I will wait for a pullback and then keep selling as of right now, all right? Any other questions? I see someone's got their hand raised.
Yeah, I got one quick question.
Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Kind of curious at where you've learned about the M&W patterns. So I'm studying that now, but I'm just kind of curious at where you learned it from.
I learned it from many different educators and really just studying the charts a lot and just really just looking at it.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
There wasn't really a specific place about it. Every educator I would find would talk about it. They would say the double top, double bottoms, and I would just basically say M's and W's to make it easy.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a particular place that you start the mirror line or the line, and can you use that on lower time frames?
You can use it on any time frame, and you can start it wherever you see your eyes wherever your eyes adjust to it,
Okay.
on the chart, if you just take a line and just put it anywhere on your chart, you'll see where you believe your halfway line should be.
Halfway. That's
So,
okay.
Yep, your halfway point.
Halfway of whatever I have positioned on my screen.
Correct. So if you just take this line here,
Uh-huh.
you can see there was a mirror image here that had formed.
Right.
You can also bring it here. You can see this little small W. It mirrored over here.
Okay.
You can bring it here. You can see this side right here. Just this, from here to here, mirrored here.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Then you could bring it. Then probably there's probably something big on a bigger scale of the big mirror image. Going out to like the daily or something, where you have a big mirror image. Why this is constantly keep dropping is probably because this big mirror image here.
Okay. How much
So
longer
Mm-hmm.
do you think the G pairs are going to drop? Because they've been going down for a while.
I personally think the G pairs are going to keep dropping until it clears this down here. So
Okay.
I believe off of GJ, I believe you still have a great another 200 something pips out of it
before it starts to turn around. So then you think that this week coming up is going to change trend and go up?
And I keep selling.
Keep selling all week.
Trade the trend to the trend bends.
So do you think that that's because, like, I know over in London and Great Britain, this is considered their holiday, so it's, they're not really trading as much and they're doing a lot of, spending and stuff like that. So maybe possibly it's going to continue a downtrend until they get off holiday in September.
Possibly. Honestly, when it comes to news and there's nothing wrong with it, but honestly, when it comes to news and stuff like that, I don't really check Forex Factory. I don't really look at news events, what's going on.
Oh no, I only said that because, like, my brother-in-law he lives in London, and I know that in June they all went on holiday or vacation, and June is around the time that GBP pairs started to fall. And when I talked to him yesterday, he was just saying that they'll be back from holiday in September. It had nothing to do with Forex, but then I was like, well, I don't know. That's why I was just kind of
that could be.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that definitely could be, because I know in the summertime a lot of pairs do a lot of different things in the summertime, that they normally don't do when everybody's kind of like really, really heavy in the market. Most people are taking vacations these times, so maybe they have the screens on like automated systems or something, and they're just running and falling and doing whatever.
I've heard some people say that it's not good to trade from November to December.
My theory on that is if you can make money, trade. That's my theory. If you can make money in the summer, you can trade in the summer.
Okay. I appreciate all your answering all the questions. Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Any other questions? Are you doing your major analysis on the 4 hour, and then basically kind of like confirming it on the hour, and then your entry on the 15-minute?
Yes, top-down analysis, correct.
Okay, and you just use the daily just to confirm that the trend has been going that way.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Any other questions?
Somebody wrote in the chat, I don't think they have a mic. Where do you post your analysis, and where will the recording be posted?
The recording, I'm not sure where the recording is going to be posted. If it's posted, it'll be posted on your YouTube. And I usually post my analysis in Auntie's chat, Dr. K's chat.
Which one?
Yeah, I was going to say 6 of them.
The one I usually post it in is this one.
I do legacies.
Right? Cool beans.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? The gentleman? It was echo with his the mic. You say you confirm. You do the analysis on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and then you do your entry on the 15 minutes.
Yeah. So it starts on the. He was asking about top down analysis. So basically, I start marking charts up on the daily time frame, and then I just zoom in to smaller scales to basically see what it's doing on the shorter time frame. You know, it just that depends on the type of trader that you are. If you're a swing trader, then you're gonna mainly stay on your higher time frames. But for me, I like to, you know, catch small pips, you know, anywhere from like 20 to 80 pips, you know. So for instance, I may zoom into a smaller scale, something like gold. I'm always looking at the 15-minute chart because gold is so volatile. You know, I don't have any need to really go to the daily. I can go down to the smaller time frame and catch these moves here and still do the same exact thing as I would do on the daily chart. These moves are like 87.
15-minute on the gold. That's a huge nugget right there for everybody that's on call.
I didn't hear that question.
That goal that you just mentioned, that you do it on the 15-minute chart, that's a huge nugget because a lot of us were doing the charts on the 4 hour and 1 hour. And by that time, it's a little bit late because gold moves so fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, and so
on the 15,
yeah,
marking up on the 15 and confirming it on the 5, or maybe the 3
right.
minute is probably a better, safer move.
Exactly. You know, because if you're doing something, you know, because if you're doing something on the daily, you know, it's gonna you guys have to think, right? I mean, this is where you have to use, I hate to say it, common sense, but you have to think if you're doing this on a daily time frame, and these are daily candles, it's gonna take a lot of days for this to come all the way back down here. It's estimated 52 days for this to come all the way back down here and retouch this trend line. That's why you want to go into smaller scales and look at smaller scales to determine, you know, what may happen next in the market. Good comment though. Yes, I am a part of IML.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
This is Frank. This is a question for us newer people. I'm okay with marking my charts up somewhat, but as I'm watching the market, how do I recognize, or I'm having trouble recognizing when there's an uptrend and then there's maybe a consolidation and then I don't know if it's called test and retest. How do I recognize when the market, after consolidation, how do I recognize if it's going to go up or down? I know they always say that, well, watch the wicks or what have you, but can you point out an example that I can kind of get in my mind what I'm looking for?
So there's many examples. My recommendation for you is do some homework, you know, as far as patterns going out. And I'll talk more about patterns as we keep moving forward. But you mainly want to look for different types of patterns that you see. You want to look for, you know, breakouts, that impulse move that I always talk about. There's just so many different things that you have to look for. There's not just one particular thing you're going to look for. I mean, if I told you everything, there's so many. I would never. We would probably be on this thing for about 11 o'clock if I told you every single thing, which I plan on doing. But it's gonna it takes time. Once as you're trading, you'll start to notice new things inside your trading that you can use, that you can keep using. Because yeah, I know a lot of people say a lot of things about wicks, which is true too. I haven't even talked about wicks, but you know, anytime, you know, for example, anytime you have wicks to the upside, that means your trade is gonna basically fall. When you have wicks to the downside, your trade is basically gonna rise. you know, that's a huge nugget if anybody just caught it. I mean, just by looking at wicks, candlestick patterns, dojis. That's why market structure is just not something you'll get it in one day. It's like a long process learning about, you know, doji candles and wicks and all that other stuff. So you just have to do your homework, you know, and just ask questions as you go.
Can you repeat what you just said about the big nugget that you said about the candles and the wicks?
Thanks.
Yeah, of course, Frank. No, just the wicks. If you have wicks to the upside, see how you have these wicks up here to the upside? That's basically telling you that the trade is getting ready to fall. And if you have wicks to the downside, like right here, look at the wicks to the downside. That's a clarification for you to say basically the trade is going to rise.
Okay.
It's just confirmation. Just like I told you guys want to make sure you have a confluence of events that happen in the market, you know, and once you start to, obviously you have to know a lot of the confluence of events, but once you start to see those confluence of events happening, that gives you more confidence in taking that trade. When I see A, B, and C line up, I know D is going to happen, basically.
Okay. Can you tell me, how can I put this? On the railroad track, let's say the first one is a bull and the second one is a bear. Which way is it?
That's a railroad track?
Mm-hmm. Well, the railroad.
Right here, see these candles here?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be your railroad track.
Mm-hmm.
This is a railroad track.
Mm-hmm.
This is a railroad track. So mainly when that second candle is a bull candle, and like you said, the first one's a bull, the second one's usually when the first one's a bull and the second one's usually when the second one's a bear usually when the first one's a bear and the second one's a bull, your trade is usually going to rise. When the first is a bull and the second is a bear, your trade is going to drop.
Okay, so now there's one where you have the 4 candles in a row that are, I guess, a double track.
Yeah, some people call it like the cord of woods or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. The same thing. Look at the first candle.
Okay.
And it'll tell you which direction.
The first candle?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Last question from me for you. What's your YouTube channel? Is it your name or?
Yeah, it's my name. I'll
Okay.
I'll drop the just type in Jeff Kirkland on YouTube and you should see it. I have a picture of my phone. Posted up.
Okay, perfect.
So when
see if I can. I'll drop the link in the chat.
When you trade on a naked board like this, you don't use any other indicators?
No, I don't use any of the indicators.
Just the 200 MA.
Yep. That's all you need.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you use for the MA?
200.
Closed.
Exponential.
Oh, okay. It says closed up there. EMA. EMA is exponential.
Do you recommend only trading one pair when you're starting out, like other veterans?
Yes, I do. I do. Master, because when you master one pair, you can master all. There's no reason. There's no reason that you need to trade all these other pairs. Personally, me, I started off just trading GU. You know, and I that's how, honestly, by trading one pair, you are learning how to discipline yourself in the market. You're waiting for your pair to do that one thing, and that'll allow you to discipline yourself for these other pairs. You know, you don't have to go out. You can make so much money on trading one pair alone. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
I was going to say, as a newbie, I found myself hunting around trying to find something, and then I come back and I would miss.
Right.
So I'm finding that one pair is better.
Okay. I like Germany.
I do too, but she's expensive.
No. She makes some dollar billers.
Yeah, she hurt your feelings too, but I love her.
No, she's devil, isn't she?
Yeah, just could you go over Gertrude for us? Oh, 2 other things. First, a couple questions that you keep getting repeated in the chat is, can you go over the mirror lines one more time? Can you go over the candles for the railroad tracks? And then me personally, other than Gertrude, I just want to say I've been with IML for a long time. I love them. No shade. Like, they're the best. But the way you, Dr. Kathy, and Camille teach and break stuff down, it's like, I swear, just in a few sessions with y'all, I feel like I have learned so much. It has truly taken my trade into a whole nother level. So I just really want to thank y'all
I
for
did on that.
everything y'all do.
You're welcome.
Man,
Yeah,
like,
I did
seriously.
on that.
Sometimes you just feel stuck watching them videos, and then y'all get on, and I'm like, that was it. It
Yeah,
totally
you
makes the
watch the
$200
videos
work.
and you do what it says, and then you get to a point and go, what do I do next? Yeah. So,
But for those questions that keep getting repeated, check the recording out. That's what it is going to be there for. I'll make sure it is getting recorded for you guys. I know it'll definitely be on my YouTube channel. Check the recording out. What was your question? I didn't catch your question.
It was just about Gertrude when you were going over the different charts like gold and stuff. Could you go over Gertrude?
Gertrude?
GER 30. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, Gertrude? What is that?
Yeah,
Y'all these crazy pairs, man.
that's what Dr. Kathy.
GER 30. All right, so GER 30. So honestly, what I'm seeing with GER 30 on the daily, I'm looking at, first of all, I see this big old M formation here. That's the first thing I see when I'm looking at this. So seeing this big M formation and saying that the daily has now switched to a downtrend, I'm personally looking at this area here, okay? And saying that if this is a big information, obviously this picture here, right? This is where you have to eye it out yet again. But you eye this out and you're like, okay, well, I know this left side has to get copied over. So if you know this is an impulsive move because it broke this area, this is a correction, correct? So we must be looking to get a continuation here. And then plus, if you take the mirror image, look how the left side, right? If I was to flip this, just look at how, where did I want to put this? Right here. Yeah. Look at how this side over here is starting to automatically copy it already. So I'm looking for some type of movement down to about right here in this area, and it pulls back up and probably keep dropping. Honestly.
On Monday? I mean Sunday night?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I would be looking for, because this is a clear break of this area. So I would be looking to keep selling it. Honestly, you could probably put it in a sell, and yeah. That's Gertrude for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Show me one more time where you got the mirror at on that side, out of your line.
All right.
Right
is
there.
over here on the side.
Okay.
It is the fifth one down, and you go to bars pattern.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. So guys, that is my time. I have to run. If you have any additional questions, reach out to me. I'll be there to assist you guys. Don't hesitate. If you are in the chat and are on Dr. K's team, don't hesitate to post in the chat if you guys need anything marked up. That's what I'm here for. I will get to you as fast as possible and answer your questions. You can DM me as well, and I'll be here to assist each and every last one of you guys. All right.
Thank you so much. Awesome.
Of course. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to go ahead and head out. I hope you guys enjoyed the session tonight, and I'll see you guys back next. No, actually, I won't be back next Friday. I will see you guys back on the 23rd.
Okay, be blessed.
Thank you.